Yo, so 2.4 is shaping up to be pretty nuts when it comes to wishing. Phase 1, we're getting Shenhe and Zhao, and Phase 2, we're getting Zhongli and Ganyu. Aside from Shenhe, because we don't really know how good she'll be, Ganyu, Zhongli, and Zhao are 3 of the strongest characters in the game. So today we're going to be talking about which characters you should be summoning for if you're looking for a DPS or a support. So today is going to be should you summon but like a versus edition. So like let's do like a cool graphic and like Boocha! Just imagine that was a cool graphic because I'm probably not going to do it. So starting off, let's take a look at Zhongli. Lucky for me, I have a Zhongli build. I run him as a sub DPS. He can be run as either a sub DPS or just a straight up shield bot. With Zhongli's kit, you get an absolutely insane shield. His Dominus Lepidus, I don't know. His shield is so strong. It is based on his HP, and at level 8, it gives you 20.5% of his maximum HP as additional shield absorption on top of the already 2311 shield that it gives you. Not to mention his shield gives you 20% resistance shred for whatever element you're using, or just straight up physical damage. The shield's nuts. 10 out of 10 would shield again. Not to mention his Planet Befall is a super fun ability. I really like it. Some people think the animation takes too long, but hey, stop rushing through life, all right? But it has a huge scaling on it, does a ton of damage, and has petrification, so it freezes enemies in place. It's an awesome ability. Now you can run him how I do, like a support slash sub DPS, where you're running attack on your sands, you're running geo damage bonus on your goblet, and you're running crit rate or crit damage on your mask, whichever one you need. Or if you just want a straight up shield bot, you want to make sure that your team never dies unless you're fighting against corrosion. We'll get to that. Then you can just run HP, HP, HP. One of the great things about Zhongli is how free to play friendly he is. With his weapon, of course, his best in slot is going to be Staff of Homa. Though you can make an argument for Vortex Vanquisher, but I still think Staff of Homa takes the cake in pretty much every category. But he does have other weapons that makes him a really solid pick. You can run something like Favonius if you just want to spam his burst. If you want his burst to do more damage, you can run something like the Catch. Though keep in mind, I do think these weapons give him a little bit too much energy recharge. He doesn't really need that much. Or you can be an absolute Giga Chad and run the Black Tassel, an HP scaling weapon that allows your shield and your ultimate and your normal attacks. It allows everything to just do more damage on Zhongli. So if you don't have any 4 stars that are even relatively decent for him, if the only thing you have is like a Dragon's Bane and a Dragon Spine Spear, go ahead and toss on the Black Tassel. It'll do you just fine. And the last thing is that Zhongli can just fit into pretty much any team comp. If you have a team comp that has a base of 3 characters that are pretty much all you need for the team comp to work, he slots in as an excellent flex pretty much anywhere. And last thing, dude, he's Zhongli. He's one of the best characters in the game. He's got some of the best character, the best voice lines, the best story, the best lore. I'm a Zhongli stan till I die. I mean, look at those eyes. But every character doesn't come without their downsides, so let's talk a little bit about that. The first downside, and one of the reasons why you might not want to wish for Zhongli, is if you just have another shielder built. If you have a really well built Diona, or maybe you're running like a tank Yanfei, or if you just utilize crystallized shields and you're like the only player that does that, you might just always have a crystallized shield up. His next con is gonna be corrosion. Corrosion and like basically fighting through shields is becoming more and more prevalent in Genshin Impact, which means that shields aren't as important. We're kind of starting to fall back into like a healing meta to where characters like Kokomi, Barbara, Diona, even though she kind of fits both roles, but these healers are seeing a lot more use just simply because of corrosion. And now we're getting even more characters with the Pyro Abyss Lectors. They're going to be able to fight straight through your shield. They're not going to care about your shield. So that is kind of a downside. Granted, there's only a few enemies right now that can actually get through a shield, but it has the potential to be a real problem in the future when like everyone can just do it and shields just aren't cool anymore. And I saved the kind of the weirdest one for last because he's Geo. And if we're honest, Geo just isn't the best element. Geo's reaction allows you to make a crystallized shield that drops a little diamond on the ground. You pick it up and you get a shield, and it's based off your elemental mastery, which doesn't help anything else in your kit. It's just kind of a weird thing that Geo does, but there are uses for Geo at the moment, especially with characters like Arataki Ito, Goro. We just had another Albedo run recently. So there are characters that can pair well with other Geo characters if you're trying to run like a mono Geo team. My personal opinion, Zhongli is an absolute must pull. Unless you don't like any of the reasons that I listed that he wouldn't be a must pull. I think he is a huge game changer for an account. And I think if you do decide to pull for Zhongli, you will not be disappointed. Next up, we have Shenhe. Now, Shenhe is a character that we don't know too much about. We know kind of what her kit does, and we've heard about her abilities and skills in the reveal stream, but we don't know how viable she's going to be on the field. So let's go over the reasons that you might want to wish for Shenhe. Number one, she's an amazing support for cryo DPS. So she is a cryo buffer. If your main DPS is a Ganyu, if you're a main DPS Chongyun, if you're that one guy, or if you just straight up run characters all the time like Kaya, Rosaria, these are all characters that are going to benefit from Shenhe a ton. She also seems like she's going to be a really solid character to bring along on physical teams because she is cryo. So all you need is to have like a Fischl in the back dropping some electro damage. And you got Superconduct for your main DPS, Eula. She seems like she's going to be an amazing support for Eula, but also characters that focus mostly on cryo damage like Ganyu. Now we know she is going to be a support character. She's going to be a buffer, but she has the potential to maybe do some sub DPS. We're not really sure just yet. We don't know what her scalings look like. And if you know in the comment section, we don't know what her scalings look like, but her kit's got some interesting stuff going on. Once you unlock one of her hidden abilities, her elemental skill actually allows you to choose to either buff up the elemental burst in the elemental skill or normal charged and plunging damage, which makes her pretty versatile, which is why I say I think she's going to be really good on a Eula team because you can just straight up buff physical damage, buff normal attacks. It's like the perfect fit. Now, some of the reasons that you might not want to summon for Shenhe. Shenhe kind of reminds me of like a 5-star Goro. And what I mean by that is that she is like super specific of who you're going to be using her with. She's only going to fit into very specific team comps. And at the end of the day, she's a 5-star support. Most of our supports in the game are 4-star and they do their job just fine. So the fact that we're now taking a 5-star out of the rotation, you're using your pity to get a support character, means that most likely you have your account built up, you have your DPSs that you rely on, and you're comfortable taking a chance on a support character being a banger. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is really, since they didn't mention her doing any big damage by herself, we can probably assume she won't do that much. She might have some sub DPS capabilities, but we're going to assume that's going to be like a Zhongli type thing where, yeah, he'll do some damage every now and then, but it's not going to be a whole lot. Not trying to disrespect my man's meatball because, dude, that thing pumps out some damage. But yeah, it's all going to depend on her scaling. We'll have to see once she comes out. I've done a lot of talking in this video and I may split this up into 2 different videos, but we'll just have to see. It depends on how long this gets. So if there's a hard cut here, stay tuned, subscribe, and be ready for the video tomorrow. Okay, so this video actually did get way too long, so I am going to go ahead and cut it off here. I will be posting the rest of this video tomorrow, where we're talking about the DPS characters from version 2.4 and if you should be wishing for them or not. So with that being said, thank you for watching. A big shout out to the members of the channel for helping make these videos possible. I love you guys, and we'll see you soon.